You good?
I'm good.
All right.
Do I hold the mic like this? Is this too loud?
You can hold it wherever. I'll adjust the audio.
Do you like Bob Barker, where it's like really long and it's like, come on down?
I'm going to keep that in the intro. Welcome to Getting to Know. I'm Mike Jeffries. This is Stratos Fear. This is where we get to know more about the talent that make Barrie wrestling so great. Stratos, thank you for joining us. First question, where are you from? How long have you been wrestling?
I am from Toronto, like the city.
Proper Toronto.
Proper Toronto, like Dundas, West and Bloor.
There you go.
For real. I grew up around there. I've been wrestling, I think, like 10 years now. I joined a little late.
Okay.
I think it goes back to us talking about how old we are without context, because this was just before you turn on the camera.
We're the same age, and it's old.
It's old. Yes.
And so, you said Toronto, so Oshawa is not part of the GTA, right?
No.
Thank you.
No.
My wife's from Oshawa. It's an argument.
And they say?
She says it's part of the GTA.
Is it because a GO train goes there finally?
I don't know. I mean, I grew up at like Bathurst and Steeles. Which
okay, that's
Toronto.
I mean, that's Toronto.
Yeah.
If you're addressed at Toronto, you're addressed at Toronto.
North York.
Wait a minute, what?
Well, North York.
North York, it's like, I am Toronto, but like, if you're like a Etobicoke, like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Like, if you're like closer to Hyde Park, it's even better, but that's not mentioned.
It's funny, it's like Northern Ontario. Like when I was in Toronto, Northern Ontario was Barrie.
Oh,
and it's like,
how?
I remember during COVID, people might go to Northern Ontario for a haircut. And I'm like, nobody's driving to Moosonee for a haircut from Toronto. Like, Northern Ontario was not Barrie.
Wasn't the COVID line like at Steeles?
I don't know, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, let's just why not go higher?
Yeah.
Where it's more rural. Like, you went to Steeles.
Yeah.
So it's like one side was like active and the other side wasn't. I don't know.
You know what? Those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Wild time.
And what first brought you to Barrie wrestling?
Getting work, I guess, because I was greenlit and trying to get out there. And it was a long time ago. I would just come and help once in a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then one day, something was going on. There was a show somewhere else, and half the talent was there, and the show was on, and like it was like Sean freaking out, and there was myself and like some people from like Rochester. And can you guys just do it like a tag match in like 5 minutes? And it was Sabre. It was like put Stratos in. And I'm like, oh. It's like I've known Sabre since like I started, and I was like, oh, thanks. They put me in a tag match, and I remember Sean being like, oh, thanks, and I appreciate that. Like shout out on Facebook like the next following days, and I'm like, hey, any more room? And it never happened, and I was like, oh, what the? And I was kind of annoyed, and then eventually I came in like months later, and I helped the Riot Makers win the tag title. I guess it was the Flatliners, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and then I jumped the rail as like a spectator and helped them win.
But you're so hard to spot.
Yeah. But nothing came out after that. It was like, oh, I guess like now I'm gonna work in the stories. You know, who's that guy? Nothing. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like Sean wants me. And I kind of was like hot about it. I'm like, man, like, what do I need to get on it? But now I get it. He just didn't have room for me. That's just as simple as it is. Like at first I was like, really? Like, what did I do? It's not. It's just there's a lot of people here, and eventually somehow I got on. I don't even know when it really clicked, but I've been a mainstay since.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's been a couple of years, a few years now.
My first time at a Barrie wrestling show was actually when the Riot Makers lost the titles to Fight or Flight, and then I think they like broke up in the post show, because I remember you posted on social media, you're like, hey guys, is something going on?
What? It's like Jody and I, like, what?
Yeah, so the Riot Makers, for those of you who don't know, were Jody Threat, yourself, Mark Wheeler, and Holden Albright. And yeah, and then their last appearance as a tag team in Barrie was when they lost the titles to Fight or Flight.
Wow.
So
yeah,
that was the end of it. Well, that's why they lost.
Yeah, I wasn't there to jump the rail.
No. So you've wrestled kind of all over Ontario. You've wrestled in a lot of different places. What makes Barrie wrestling special? Like, why do you keep coming back here? Aside from, Sean pays you.
I mean, I guess it's just because of the atmosphere. That sounds so cheesy. Like, yeah, the crowd's great. I think more of the atmosphere of behind the scenes too. There's such great talent here. Everyone's such good friends, and then somehow Sean and I have become pretty close and just talking on outside of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like we've done stuff outside of wrestling, so I kind of like have just an appreciation for him, and it's just an honor to be a part of here. I know it's again super cheesy. It's something I don't really show a lot of because I'm the heel, but it's because there's a lot of love here.
I do say the best heels are good human beings.
Oh.
Like, the biggest baby faces of all time are like Hulk Hogan, who's a dick, and Steve Austin, who's a dick, and The Rock, who's I could go on. But like, like a lot of great heels are good people. Mark Wheeler, great guy, very punchable face.
Yeah.
Worked great as a heel.
We started like day one together training. He's like my little brother.
There you go. And so I was scrolling through your socials, and you have a lot of classic horror movie stuff and classic wrestling stuff. And you are the wrestling equivalent of like a horror movie villain.
Cool.
So if you had to pick kind of like one or two horror movie villains, one or two classic wrestlers that have helped influence you, like who would you pick?
So actually, it might not even be, I might go off a little bit. When I was kind of creating myself, at first it was very like, oh, I'm Stratos Fear. It has to be like a Michael Myers or a Jason.
Yeah.
Very like, I would wear like a bandana coming out with like Fear like painted on it.
When you were part of the Cure?
Yeah. And that was kind of a way to like break the stage fright. Like, oh, we do that, and then, because I got thrown that pretty quickly into my wrestling journey. And they're like, you just be like the side guy, you just kind of get beat up. And I was like, great, whatever. It was a great experience, like, trail off, like, on that later, but, so I was very like, what do I, like, am I going to be that kind of like, like, monster in that sense? And
Yeah.
like, well, I do like to run my mouth. And I'm getting comfortable with it. Now I'm really liking to run my mouth. And I'm like, well, where do I take that from? And I look at, like, the villains in 80s movies. I don't know if you ever watched Class of '84.
I have not.
Oh.
Horror movies scare me.
It's not a horror movie.
Okay.
It's actually filmed in one of my old high schools, which is cool. Michael J. Fox is in it. He's like 16.
Oh, wow.
Gets stabbed. It's pretty funny. Spoiler alert, but it's something from the 80s.
He gets stabbed. It's funny.
So, yeah, because he's like so little. It's adorable. He's like, oh, in the cafeteria. And I'm like, hey, lunch day. But the main bad guy, he just plays it like such a prick. But when it's time to be a coward, you be a coward. And I like that aspect of how I work my heel stuff. I get it from, like, even Freddy. Menacing, but when he's getting beaten up, he's like a coward.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key thing, because you win over the audience. And the audience gets to go, oh, good, we finally got that jerk. You know what I mean, right? Instead of being the cool heel, like, because I'm not, maybe 6'3", but I'm not 7'1", so I'm not a monster. Who's that guy that used to wrestle in Barrie with the patient?
Oh, Bino, Randy Bino. Patient 705.
I get it, right? But I cannot be that.
No.
I kind of, in the beginning, I was like, I'd like to be like that. But realizing there's no way I'm going to be like that. And I just, again, I like to run my mouth now.
So that's it. Okay, I'll take that. I noticed, I think you had posted like a Stan Hansen, like a screenshot of you watching a Stan Hansen match and stuff like that. And I can see you being like the 80s style wrestler as well. Just
yeah, because
like,
I'm old and I don't do flips. So.
I mean, you could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I won't do it here, but, for me to get the crowd going, I would do like a spit off and just spit on somebody and they'll spit back at me. And I was like, spit.
That's disgusting.
It's like a boo yay, but it was spit, but I'd get the same reaction if someone that did like a 540 for 50, whatever numbers you want to throw out, because I know I can't do it. And I'm not going to try. But if I can get the same reaction with just something like spit, count me in.
I mean, you got a great reaction just sack tapping a ref during a beach blast match.
There you go. Yeah.
Which segues into my next question. So you have been part of all 3 Wild Rovers matchups. You were in the Beach Blast match. You were in the Christmas Variety Special match, whatever.
Yeah.
Is there one moment from your time here in Barrie Wrestling that like stands out? Aside from young ref Kyle not knowing how to properly spit and just knocking a launch of non-alcoholic beer at you.
I mean, that match was funny because I'm straight edge and whatever, and I just don't like the taste.
Yeah.
So even doing that, I was like, this sucks. It tastes like beer. I don't like it.
Because there was a shoot company to tell you it was non-alcoholic, right?
Well, no, they were, yeah. It was like, hey, it's a sober sips, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I remember in the back, I'm like, well, man, just give me a little taste of like what this tastes like. And I'm like, yeah, this is just exactly what beer is, and this is why I don't like it. Right?
Yeah, I don't like the taste.
It's not about why my beliefs. I just never liked beer. Like I did in high school because it was high school, and I was like, you know what? I don't like it. I like being drunk, but I don't even like beer. It's not, it's not that old, like, you'll grow to like it. I'm like, what, I can grow to like the taste of, like, I don't know, what, the bitterness? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't know. So, I don't know, that was funny. Back to your question, though. Good question, good question. I mean, the soccer stuff was pretty wild. I think more behind the scenes of like everyone looking at me and going, how are we going to put this together? And I'm like, oh, I'm the one that has to put this together? Like, sure. And it just clicked. I was like, well, in soccer we do this, because I play soccer. I grew up playing in it in leagues since like I was an adult, and I still play pickup soccer. And so incorporating wrestling into it was like a cool, finer moment that I could like tap myself on the shoulder, because like, it's just now when you watch it, I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, like I like that.
You trying to kick the ball at Puff and missing like 3 times in a
Which
row is so
sucks.
funny.
It sucks because
It
I was
so,
like,
so hard.
like I play and I'm like, I remember just kind of kicking the ball and hitting the wall and I'm like, perfect, no problem. And for whatever reason, I was just trying to launch it at him, and I kept hitting everything else besides.
It's a small target.
Well, I'm like, how? Like,
I don't think those weren't regulation soccer balls.
It's not even that. I don't know. I'm not, I was just off.
I'll tell you, there's
Well
one
played.
moment from one of your crazy matches that lives to me, and it's maybe the hardest impact I've ever seen in a wrestling match was you hitting Take It Easy Joey with that little guitar, the plastic. Those things have no give, and you swung for the absolute fences
I think
twice.
I think when I did it, I turned around and I think it was Josh just watching on the side, and I looked and gave him this look like, right, like, and he's just like, oh,
Well, I started laughing on commentary because the sound it made, it was just like, there's no way that felt good.
no way. Love the guy. I'm happy.
Oh, he's so great. And then I had to put, it's in the intro now, you playing the broken guitar. Just, it personifies you. He's dead and you're like, oh, it was so good. So,
Good match.
did you always know you were funny? Like, have you always been a funny guy?
Yeah. I mean, grade 5, I had an award for class clown, I guess.
Nice.
Like, of the month. It was like student of the month things. One was like the funniest or something. I was like, I had an act. I love being funny. I love comedy, and it took a while to get it into my wrestling, because I was trying to train myself to be this menacing guy, and I'm like, I'm funny. I'm a jerk. I can make this
You're
work.
stealing my questions. I was going to ask, because, like, you're 6'3", tatted up, scary guy.
Yeah.
And, like, you're not the typical comedy wrestler. And, I mean, like, there's a match for everybody, right? Not every match can be, Bryan Danielson against Kenny Omega for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, was it hard to kind of convince bookers, like, no, I can do funny?
Well, this just happened. If you want to talk about it, like 2 weeks ago, I got the opportunity to work Jay Lethal as Black Machismo.
Oh, wow.
And he came to me and was like, listen, I'm sorry, we got to do about the Macho Man thing, but we could lead into like, some other stuff. And I was like, oh, no, friend. Like, we just met, but I got a plush snake in a pillowcase. And he looked at me and was like, oh, and just started laughing. And it was one of those moments where, like, when we planned stuff, we were just laughing. And like, let's do the Jake the Snake Macho Man thing. He's like, yeah. And we were just planning a match and laughing about it. It was like, that's like, I know I did well. And I know that, like, afterwards, I'm like, hope it was great. Because, he's coming in, he's on TV.
Yeah.
He wrestled me, like, And it ended up being, like, awesome. And he was super happy with it. Just like, and obviously, like, perfect for me. Like,
Yeah.
This is great. And yeah. I don't know other promotions. I don't know if we talk about that.
Well, I mean, I'm going to ask about one other promotion in a bit.
Okay,
but,
sure. Okay, then
so
never mind.
you've got a lot of tattoos. What was your first one?
Ugh.
Do you remember?
Yeah, it was my my last name is on my. During that era when you put Old English around your like stomach.
At least it's your last name. A guy I knew in high school got player tattooed across his stomach.
Yeah, but like that was like the era where people put something in Old English around the stomach. One of my brothers, he did it, and it was one of those things where like, oh, all those brothers have to get it. I'm the only other brother that got it. There's 4 of us, and whatever. That was my first tattoo, and then it just kind of. But I waited until I was 18. I didn't want to get. I remember a buddy got tattooed at like 16, and he was treated like garbage from like the shop, and he didn't really get what he wanted because they were like, well, you're 16.
Oh, because
I
you're a
was
kid,
like,
yeah.
I don't want that. I'd rather, and then we got like someone's older brother to fake like a whole like, yeah, this is my son. Like on the
Oh my
phone.
gosh.
They were probably like, these guys, right? So I was happy to wait because probably at 16 I wanted something more ridiculous. I mean, this is cool, it's family, whatever. I think nowadays when I look at stuff, I'm like, would I get a nail? No, but I'm not ashamed. I have crazy stuff like Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Collected a lot of Nintendo
How
stuff.
did you not team up with Uno and Grayson with that on your arm?
Don't know.
They were the Super Smash Brothers.
They
for those who
were.
don't know. And is there a good story behind any one in particular that you?
I mean, I think we got to go with this guy. Was probably the most meaningful tattoo. Is my son. His name's August. Fortunately, he passed away.
Yeah.
When he came to this world, there was an underlying issue, and he was only with us for 2 weeks. So that's like my most meaningful to date tattoo.
Yeah.
I think probably ever. So.
What is? Oh, it's a bunny in there.
Yeah, he had we had a stuffed bunny that we brought, and I was like, oh, here's your toy when you come out, and it was always with him. And after everything that kind of went sideways, we were at Sick Kids for like 2 weeks. So we always had the bunny was with him.
Yeah.
And it became a thing. And then after he passed, we always see bunnies now, like everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Even like real bunnies. And I'm not a very spiritual person. I don't know. This is not how I think, but I think it's really sweet when I see these things. And we have like a family chat, and it's like, oh, I saw a bunny. Someone takes a picture or a video, and then there's a bunny. So the bunny just kind of resembles Augie.
It's important to talk about. So actually last show I work for the Hospital Foundation in Aurelia, and I wore my Charlie's Run shirt. So we have Charlie's Run. It's named after Charlie Holmes, who was born sleeping 13 or 14 years ago, but her parents started this run. And we've now raised $970,000 over the years for the peds and NICU at the hospital, but it's about prenatal and perinatal loss. And we've maxed out our registration 3 years in a row, 850 people, and it's important. It's that, and it kind of started with them being like, there's nobody talked about this, like there's no resources, and it's really, really important to talk about. So, no, thanks for sharing that.
No problem. We have he's got a plaque at Sick Kids because we raise money for him to help out the wing that was taking care of all of his issues and stuff. So like when we go to Sick Kids now, because we're part of them, they really helped us out with grief counseling and stuff. So we have it that like Sick Kids is with us like all the time. So he's got his plaque, so it's like, oh, let's go visit the plaque, and that's his home. We can't take that away. That's his home. So, and everyone was just amazing there. They did everything they could, and it's just, these Sick Kids is just unreal.
Yeah. And just anybody listening, if you've gone through this, if like somebody has suffered a loss like that, like you're not alone. Like there are a lot of great resources out there. Talk to your doctor. Shoot us a DM through Barrie Wrestling or me at Mike Jeffries PA or Stratos. And, like there are resources everywhere. I know a friend of mine up in Sudbury went through it, and like thankfully she was able to find like a group, because it hasn't been talked about for the longest time. We're kind of off topic now, but we had a guy come out to Charlie's Run. He and his wife had lost 2 kids in the 70s, and like they never talked about it. Yeah. So yeah, it's important. So thanks for sharing that.
It's a club you don't want to be a part of, but when you're in it, there's like a lot of like how do you say it, like just understanding, and everyone's there for you, and even if someone's new, you could always just open up and talk to them because you're sharing a bond that's unfortunate, but
you have to go through it to know it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pivot. You've been on the indie scene for a while. Mm-hmm. You started like 2015-ish.
Yeah, right.
How has the scene changed since then, for better or worse?
I think better. There's a lot of growth and a lot of more opportunity, especially in Ontario.
Yeah.
Like, I got to, in the beginning, there was a couple things, and I would try to go to the States as much as I could. I would work, like, I don't even know if Rockstar Pro was around. It was like on a Wednesday in Dayton.
Fully legally, you worked it, right?
Fully legal?
Yeah, you had a work visa for the States, right?
Oh, no. Is that needed there? I don't even know. We go to Michigan a lot because we had connections there. And just, even if it was like a squash for like a minute, you just drive, whatever, 5 hours. Get there, do it, and then drive back home and work your real job the next day. But now, like even just in Ontario alone, like how many promotions are running, it's like there's opportunity for so many people, and there's a lot of new schools that have come about that are producing pretty decent stuff, and the more the merrier. Like look at crowds now. There's like more people coming to shows.
Yeah, it's becoming more. I mean, there's a lot of promotions. I mean, there's a lot of not great promotions, but there's a lot of promotions. And there's this new one in Toronto I heard about recently. It's some sort of a wrestling club. You know anything about this? Would you want to talk about it for a minute?
So a couple buddies and I, we started, because we wanted to do some more shows, especially in Toronto, and we decided to start the Toronto Wrestling Club. First, we just ran shows in the back of a 7-Eleven. There's a parking lot tied in. There was a thing. It's a little bit more, but it's just at the end of the day, you're like behind a 7-Eleven over in the Junction. And we just tested out some shows, and they were like, our first one, we were like at 150 people. We're like, oh, like we just put up flyers. We didn't have an Instagram. Like, it was using our own stuff to like promote it. But apparently it was the flyers of the neighborhoods. We're like, yeah, this is a great idea. So we did another one just before it got cold, and it had like 350 people.
Oh, wow.
Like, what's happening? So we took we're like, what do we do next? And then we got involved. It was like a mutual like gathering with Henderson's Brewery. I don't know if you know them. They're a decent brewery in the city. And
I drink as much beer as you do, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're awesome. They're involved with a lot of cool things. They have a very awesome area. It's near a Nestle factory.
Oh,
and it's like a big parking lot. But anyways, inside they're like, we want to run wrestling shows. So we got involved. We started talking. We were doing the first show was like a thing for Whipper, Billy Watson.
Yeah, Billy Watson. I remember that. Yeah.
And they did a beer for Whipper, Billy Watson. They're like, why don't we just rebrand the beer, put your logo on it, and
That's
ours, and let's start doing shows. And we're like, cool. We had to think of a name. And that came about because we wanted to be like more old school, but not so like such like a wrestling, like name, like Extreme this or something.
Powerbomb Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, something. It was like, what are we gonna? Like, I like the old school vibe. Obviously, we're going with that, especially with the whole Billy Watson. Like, let's think like old time. And that just came about, and I was like, basic logo. Let's make it as basic, And I guess that's the appeal, that it kind of just, even our flyers, there's no talent really on it. We do like a talent announcement on the Instagram, but we keep it the old like a passport. Like
I've seen them.
Yeah, because it's just like, those are the old posters. I love like old like wrestling posters, even like boxing posters, like George Zavallo, like against Muhammad Ali, like those just look so cool because it's all they could have done back then, right?
Yeah.
Like the way.
Well, it's like the old programs, right? When you see the old WWF programs from like 1987.
Yes, it's like wrestled here, and it's like the time and wrestled. And it's just names. Like, I love that. So I kind of take that element and work with it. Well,
and there's not a lot of that out there. So I mean, best of luck to you, because I feel like more and more promotions are being kind of like we were talking about with wrestling. Like, how many guys can we get that can do 720s off of a light post? And you're like, hip toss, arm drag, drop down.
Yeah, I know what I could do.
Kick in the face.
You know who taught me? Because in the beginning, I'm wearing my heel stuff, and it was RJ City.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, you know what you need to do? Because he just tells me, he goes, no moves. I was like, what do you mean no moves? What does that mean? Like, is this guy, like, saying to me? And then I eventually understood. If you look at my stuff, I think I got, like, 5 moves.
Hey, Kevin Nash made a good career off 5 moves.
Yeah. Just kind of run my mouth and take the bumps, because, like, the babyface shines. Gotta make them look good. So I got my couple of moves, and I'm good with that.
And then sometimes you pick up a deflated unicorn and throw it at the ring announcer.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yeah, there you go. And sometimes I win, and I think that's weird because, it's the ending of the movie. The bad guy gets what he deserves. So I'm always like, you want me to win? Why?
That's great. Well, Stratos, thank you so much. Where can people find you and TWC on social media? So Instagram, I am xstratosx. Pretty simple. You'll see me. And Toronto Wrestling Club, straight up on Instagram. Persian was the only active things we use. And the next show for that one is June 28th at Henderson's. Get your tickets while they last. Because last time we actually sold out. Try to get this up before June 28th. I'll bump you up in the schedule.
Please.
All right. Well, Stratos, thank you. Really appreciate it. Have fun tonight. Yeah. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
See ya.